Young people need something to hold on to, a culture connection, a sense of their own past, a hope for their own future. Most of all, they need what grandparents can give them. Hi everyone, welcome to Kitaabi Cabins. I am Kritika, and today I am going to talk about a few books that have a relationship, that explore a relationship between a grandchild and grandparent, all fictional by the way. The first book that I want to start with is Four Seasons in Japan. I wrapped this up 2 or 3 days back. The book has two protagonists, Flo and Cure. Both are dealing with some sort of an identity crisis, existential crisis. They are trying to, they have been hurt and they have hurt others, and they are trying to see where they fit in or who they fit in with. And they always find themselves, Cure specifically, he finds himself in isolation with the rest of the world. He's always out of sync because he perceives things differently, and he's trying to deal with his father's death, and he has failed medical college, but he wants to be a designer. He's very good at creating art, and which doesn't align with his mother's expectations. So he's dealing with that as well. And his mother suggests that why doesn't he spend some time in Onomichi, which is a small town in Japan, with his grandmother. Then unfolds a story that spreads across 4 seasons, spring, autumn, winter, and summer. And you see the town, you see the cat that they have, as most of the Japanese books have, as supporting characters, and how they are always sometimes in contrast with the protagonist, and sometimes always in sync with them. And the writing is very gentle, very soothing. It is not a fast read. It is not even a slow paced read. You just want to explore characters day by day, slowly, how they are getting to know each other, and henceforth you're getting to know them through the other characters. So it was a really charming book, and I'll recommend you to read it. This was by Nick Bradley, and I want to explore more of his books now. The second book that I want to talk about is My Grandmother Sends a Regards and Apologies. This was very surprising read for me because I'm a huge admirer of Frederick Backman, and all the books that I read prior to this, I've grown familiar to his writing style, and I sort of know that after how many pages a twist might come, or the pace of the book might increase, even if the book is not mystery, but he writes that way. This book also has a bit of mysterious elements, but this was completely different from his writing style. And I recommend Frederick Backman to every person who likes books. Not only you will like to read books if you do not in general, but you'll also just want to become a better person after reading his books. I don't know, that's the effect that those books have on me. This is sort of a subset of his writing. It explores the relationship of Elsa and her grandmother. Elsa again is sort of a different child, and she is sometimes maybe like intellectually too good to be in her class, due to which everybody finds her very different and unique, and she's bullied at school, and she shares a very back and forth argumentative relationship with her mother. They're always fighting about one thing or the other, but she has this immense love for her grandmother who understands her, gets her. But unfortunately, she passes away in just few chapters, but we do not lose her and her story, because the book does explore the relationship that the grandchild and the grandmother had. Some of the past snippets of their lives have been shared, and when the grandmother dies, she leaves a mystery for Elsa to solve. And there were a few references that I lost. I really didn't get those, probably because the book was earlier written in Swedish and originally written in that, and it wasn't translated. So I'm not sure if I was not just aware, or the references got lost in translation, but it has plenty of Harry Potter references to make up for those. So yeah, again, a good read. The third book, I do not have it with me, is Universe versus Alex Woods. The book does not have a grandparenting grandchild, but the age gap between the teenager and the veteran that he befriends sort of lies in that intergenerational solidarity. And they meet in a very weird encounter, and somehow few days later they find themselves opening a book club. Again, I think two different parallels with very different lives, very different experiences. One is hopeful and faithful towards life. One has seen pretty much most of it, the good and bad. And all the young child can do is try to make the older person focus on the good parts, the hopeful parts. And he somewhere succeeds in doing so. The book is very interesting, and it gave me 12 other books from the book club to talk about, which I do want to talk about in a later video maybe. The fourth book, it's a notable mention. It doesn't actually lie in that category because that is not the main premise of the book. The book is A Man Called Ove, again by Frederick Backman. Ove is a grumpy old man. He is dealing with a loss. He's trying to cope up with it in his own ways. I will not give any spoilers. And while he is trying to do that, a family moves in the neighborhood. They are Spanish and they have two little children who, again, share a very, strange, uncanny relationship with Ove. By the end of the novel, you do not want it to end because you want to explore where this relationship might go into, and the huge gap in their ages have managed to find a very warming friendship. So these are the 4 books. Do read them. If you have already read them, let me know which one of them do you like the best, and I will see you next time. Before I end, I started with a quote about grandparents. I want to end with one. Make up your mind to this. If you are different, you are isolated. Not only from people of your own age, but from those of your parents' generation and from your children's generation too. They will never understand you, and they will be shocked no matter what you do. But your grandparents would probably be proud of you and say, "There's a chip off the old block." And your grandchildren will sigh enviously and say, "What an old rip grandma must have been." And then they will try to be like you. All these books make you realize that they sort of open the door, the realization door that how much access your grandparents have to your parents' childhood and teenage, which not everybody really gives to their children. And it is unfiltered, and there's always hope, and you have roots and your future right in front of you in the form of your grandparents, which is very refreshing, and lucky are those who get to spend time with them. And these books will make you crave a tea with your grandparents. So do read them and let me know. I'll see you next time.